Now, Envy, last week we met you. We met you last Thursday. Invited you to the show.
Right.
And then
all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it was all good just a week ago.
Did you stage that or?
I mean, let me tell you, man. No, I didn't stage that.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, before we, how are you? Seriously, genuinely, how are you feeling?
I'm fucked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
I appreciate
and it's all serious. You know what I mean? And the reason I'm fucked up because I don't give a fuck about anybody else. You know, but at the end of the day, it's my family. You know what I mean? And that's something that I would never want to go on air with. You know what I mean? That's something I had to look at my daughter, had to look at my son, and tell him because I'm the type of.
How old are your kids?
11 and 9.
Okay, so they're old enough to understand.
Right, and I'm the type of dad. I baby my kids, but I say I love them and I kiss them and I hold them and I hug them and I tell them they look the best and I tell my son he's the smartest, tell my daughter she's the prettiest. Right. But I've always been real with them. So, you know, when this happened, because this has been old news, you know what I mean? This just hit the press.
Okay, so
I had to tell my daughter what I did to their mother. You know what I mean? I had to tell my son what I did to their mother.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the family.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to tell my family, but you know, I was more of my immediate family first. You know what I mean? And I had to tell him what I did. You know what I mean? I had to look my son in his eye and say, yo, Dad, your father made a mistake. Right. You know what I mean? And it's not the mistakes you make, it's how you bounce back from those mistakes and how you repair those mistakes. And they get it and they ride with me and, you know, when I'm in pain, they come and they like, yo, Dad, it's all good. Right. You know, we forgive you and we're gonna work on it and continue to make this family tight. So it's a tough thing, but you know, we're working through it.
Listen, man, you know, you've been married 11 years.
Been with my wife 18.
I've been married for 16 years, right? 4 kids. Wife is a dime, the whole nine. I will tell you, coming from this industry, the hardest thing to keep is family.
Absolutely.
And I feel for you, my dude, because you got married when you was 20?
21.
21.
Well, 20. She was 21. I was 22.
You were 22 years old, getting married. Right. I mean, no matter what you think of marriage, the narrative of marriage, the romance of marriage, the highs of marriage, you can't possibly be prepared for that.
Right. Well, you know what it is, and this is the crazy thing, and this is the reason why I wanted to come up here, and this is the reason why I even talked about it, even mentioned it on the air and talked about it. The bad thing about this music industry, and I talked about it before, is when you get in the industry, you praise other things you shouldn't praise. And when I say praise other things is, when I got in the industry, I didn't praise my family.
Right.
Okay.
I praised the money.
Because the family was there.
I praised the dollar. I praised the cars. I praised the jewelry. I praised everything that I shouldn't have praised. Right. And you know,
and it's not your fault.
And when you get in this industry, it's not quote unquote cool to be married.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you're looking at these videos, it wasn't cool.
I'm gonna tell you,
didn't get married because it made you look old.
Let me interrupt you. Me and my wife had a secret marriage. Came back to my office. I'm talking to my clients, Dame Dash and the whole nine. I'm like, I got married this week. And them cats started laughing at me. Right. And I already felt uncomfortable entering into that situation and then not realizing that I don't have no support.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. But you have no support. So it's like you almost feel like you have to hide it. Right. It almost feels like, you know, at that time when you get married,
how crazy is this shit?
It makes you look old.
No, but what he's saying, like when you're in that,
it's the truth.
How crazy is that shit?
See, Dallas, you're a little bit older and more comfortable, but like when you're coming up, and everybody's talking about the hustle, and the industry is your life. You know what I'm saying? And it's all showtime. Like certain things that's realer than most, but that's not being accepted by your environment. Right. Like I understand exactly. Right. Because in a sense, when I told cats that I was married and they was laughing, and these are cats that I respected in the industry, I kind of felt ashamed.
Right. Absolutely. Right. And it wasn't even feeling ashamed. It was just like I felt like I had to hide it. I didn't want to feel like I was old. I didn't want to feel like at the time I was LL Cool J in that older era. You know what I mean? Right. So, but when I go home every night, I'm going home to my wife. I'm going home to somebody who has my back, really, like who's really loyal, who is really standing by me, who is when I got beef, she got beef. Exactly. When I'm fighting, she's fighting. When I'm dropping off mixtapes to the mixtape stores, you know who's driving? She is.
She's your ultimate shooter.
Absolutely.
She's your ultimate shooter.
Absolutely. But, you know what I mean? The industry makes you almost want to disrespect that because they show you shouldn't be praising that. You shouldn't be with that. You should be praising these bitches. Right. You should be praising this money. You should be praising this jewelry. You should be praising all this other shit.
The fast
life. Until you get to a situation.
Should you also praise STDs?
No.
Oh, damn.
But I guess that's
how I fucked up.
That comes with the territory. Right. Let me interrupt for a second because we're talking to DJ Envy. Mm-hmm. Most of the cats may not know what we're talking about.
Right.
DJ Envy, very popular DJ Envy.
Right.
Something came up in your relationship last week.
Right. I cheated on my wife.
Yes.
Cheated on my wife. And it was splattered all over. Everywhere, the internet, the blogs, everywhere. Right. So I had to tell her.
Right.
She knew before it was splattered out everywhere.
Did you have these conversations before it was splattered everywhere?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, okay.
I mean, she knew what it was before. So when it splattered, it was. She knew what it was.
She was prepared.
She was prepared, but not prepared.
Not prepared.
It's one thing to be embarrassed in your home, but when it gets hit to press, it's a different type of feeling.
Right.
So I got on air and I explained myself on air, not for anybody else, but for people who gets in this industry or feels like they were in the situation that I was.
Yeah.
And sometimes for us, our community, we don't look out for each other.
Mm-hmm. What drove you to have that? Because that's not the nature of your show.
No, that's not the nature of my show. But and it's gonna sound, what's that Tupac line? Oh, you Muslim now? No more dope chains. It's like certain things bring you closer to God.
Right.
And when this happened, and the thought of me losing my family brought me closer to God.
Of course.
Because there's nobody to help me at that point but God.
Right.
God, I need help right now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I felt like the best thing for me to do was help everybody else.
Right.
Where somebody who might be 22 years old, might just got a deal, might just look up to me and be like, you know what, I seen this nigga Envy fuck up. And I'm not going to fuck up like he did because he sounds hurt on the radio.
Right.
And I've never heard that nigga sound hurt.
He's keeping it very,
you know
very,
what I mean?
very real.
So you know what? I'm gonna change my life.
Right.
So if I could change 2 niggas' lives, 3 niggas' lives,
then you good.
Then I feel happy because I feel accomplished because nobody did it for me. Nobody got on the radio that I looked up to and said, Envy, you fucking up.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's with everything. That's more than just my relationship. Is how I handle my business and how I move around as well.
And one of the things that we're talking, not even in the industry, but in society as a whole, is that when you fuck up and you get caught, deny.
Absolutely.
I think the easiest route to do is accept that shit and power through it. You about to say, Dallas?
What I was about to say is, I think after meeting Envy last week, that conversation we had, which was we talked about later, was so enjoyable that I think maybe I went and used some of my wizard power to have that shit happen, only because speaking with you last week, I asked you, and we had a frank conversation,
right.
And you told me this industry is so fucked up. I could just go home and never come back again into it.
Right.
But I asked you, I begged you, I pleaded with you. I said, there's got to be one thing, one person, one time that somebody recognized you or contacted you and it made you and it brought you back to that time when you were first connected to it.
Right.
And I think that this situation, somebody's going to find you and be like, yo, you know what? I was caught up and hearing your words made me realize
and
that.
I already got 1 million of those. I done got 1 million pages.
So now you ain't never leaving the game. Now he's never leaving the game.
I done got 1 million
He's
people
here,
that
y'all.
hit me and was like, yo, you really helped me. Like, you really changed me because I was on some foul shit.
Right.
And if I don't respect my wife now, I'm going to lose the best thing that ever happened to me. So, so those things right there made me say, you know what, I'm here for a reason.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's not just the money.
One of the things that I definitely profess, man, is the importance of family.
Right.
But people have their misconceptions of what family is. They think that they
Absolutely.
get married and it's happily ever after. But keeping your family is the hardest shit to do.
Absolutely.
There's so many responsibilities.
It's a juggle.
And being with the same person that you love. But, love is a battlefield.
Right.
I mean, you go through the gamut of like feelings. Love is the realest shit. And, I read somewhere that the sign of a successful marriage is not a perfect marriage because that shit doesn't exist.
Right.
It's the forgiveness process.
Absolutely.
It's the forgiveness process.
Absolutely.
How's your lady feeling right now, man?
I mean, right now we're good.
Right.
Right now we're good, but
it goes up and down.
I tell you what we're working on now. We're working on our family.
Yes.
Now, as far as our relationship, we're going to see what happens.
Right.
We're going to see, maybe we can, maybe we can't. But as far as family is concerned, it made our family tighter because what I was able to do that I was never able to do in the 18 years was tell the truth. You know what I mean? Because in this industry, you live a lie.
Yes.
I wasn't there. I was so.
Right.
I wasn't that. But now it's...
You didn't read that on my phone?
Exactly. Now it's a point where I'm like, yo, all my phones are open.
So you feel free right now?
Absolutely
Yes.
free.
Yes.
Absolutely
Now, are
free.
you getting help?
As far as what?
Like outside help, like counseling?
Nah.
I'm going to tell you, dude.
Nah. Well,
Do that.
I'm gonna tell you, I am getting help, but not as a counselor, as a minister.
Right.
Back in the church.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Back in the church.
Got to do that, because my personal experience, and I understand what you're going through, is that at our worst, we had a support base.
Absolutely.
And when she was throwing shit at me and I'm throwing shit at her and whatever, we had somebody that was like, yo.
Absolutely.
And I think for the most part, like, these white cats do it.
Yeah. I mean, no counselor, but
they
go
get
back.
help.
You go back to the. For me,
there's a support base.
For me, I went back to the church.
Yes.
And the church is helping me and helping my family.
Right. Now, when you came out with your announcement, man, how was Angela and Charlemagne prepared for that, or did they know that was going to happen?
Nah, they called me crazy. They said they never know what Envy gonna say. You know what I mean? And
what was the energy in the room at the time?
I mean, they still, at the end of the day, they still like your brother and sister. Right. So it's like, if you got a brother and sister, I'm an only child. Right. So it's like,
me too, man.
I got cousins. So, if you fall on your face while you riding your bike and bust your lip, your cousin don't be like, yo, you up, you good? Right. He, first thing he do is start laughing. So that's the same thing they do. And they laugh. And then, it's, they take it as funny, but I take it as serious. You know what I mean? And, it is what it is.
Has it changed the dynamic since?
Of the show?
Yes.
Nah, I don't think it's changed the dynamic.
Or you might not be able to see that, because that was big, B.
Right.
That doesn't exist in black radio.
No, it doesn't exist. So when I apologized to my wife 10 weeks ago, so I apologized 10 weeks ago because of what happened. Right. And then I had to explain what happened the other day on radio. Right. But I mean, it doesn't change. It changes how I look and talk about certain things and do certain things and move certain ways. But other than that, it hasn't changed the dynamic.
I'll tell you how it also made you stronger. Anybody else that might have wanted to use this to try to flip this on you,
right?
In a way, you've taken their power
away.
You've in a sense you've disarmed them,
right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, you got cats that's